Hello friends, welcome to jQuery tutorial. In this video, we will understand what is CSS widget containers. So when we work with jQuery UI, we have to understand what is widget and widget container. So in this example, we will use two kind of CSS widget to decorate the HTML elements through the jQuery way. Now let us proceed with this video and learn what is CSS widget containers. Alright, let's create our first example. jQuery UI uses CSS styled container to display the HTML elements. So here container holds the other HTML elements. Let us look at the header and content containers. So there are two containers we are going to look. One is header and another one is content. When we use these containers, jQuery will decorate the CSS, the HTML element with some predefined CSS styles. So these CSS styles are defined inside the CSS file of the theme package. So first we will create the folder structure. So the main folder we used it as jQuery UI. So in the previous video we created the setup demo, we removed and we created a folder called jQuery UI, and then we have three subfolder. In the previous video we extracted this jQuery UI 1.12. So this specific folder contains the API required for the jQuery UI as well as through a external subfolder, the jQuery. So both APIs are there in this specific folder. After that, we downloaded the themes package and we extracted that inside the jQuery UI. After that, we created a folder called P area, practice area, and in this folder we will place our example files. When we are going or when we are progressing to the sub-series, we will create all the examples inside the practice area. So our examples which is placed inside this practice area refers the folder jQuery UI 1.12.0 as well as jQuery UI themes. So first let's create the HTML as shown here, and if you see, this is just a regular HTML. We have head, right, and head is ending here. Then we have body and body is ending here, and this is our whole HTML. Inside the HTML, if you see, there are some important stuff that we highlighted, and in the link we are referring the CSS style sheet. So jQuery UI themes, right? Then we are referring some CSS file, or you can even refer some of the theme package which we downloaded here. So the CSS file, you can find multiple CSS file. So you can refer any theme related CSS file that will provide the CSS styling decoration. Alright, so all the selection rules will be here. So if you go through this CSS file, you will come to know what are all the CSS elements that is placed inside the theme folder. And then we have div tag, and if you see, this is the parent div, right? So the div starts here and it ends here. So this is the parent div, and inside this parent div we have two more div, right? This is child 1, and we have one more div, and that is ending here. So this is second div. And if you see the parent div, we are just using the UI widget. This will provide CSS styling for this parent div, right? After that, we are using UI widget header for our first style. We are giving the header style, right, by referring the CSS class. So this styling rule will be defined in this CSS, and we are just applying that here using the class attribute, right? So by this time you have some good knowledge on CSS, or you can refer our CSS course. So we have a separate playlist for CSS, and when you look at this CSS file which we downloaded, and it will have something called UI widget, .UI widget, right? This will be the selection rule. Here dot denotes the class, so it can be applied to any HTML element that contains the class attribute UI widget. After that, we will be having the CSS style rule, right? So that's the CSS stuff, right? You can place the selection rule dot UI widget here means a class equal to UI widget. If we have hash UI widget, then any element or the element that is having the ID equal to UI widget, then selection rule, right? So likewise, we will be having multiple selection rule inside the JQuery UI theme, right? From there, we are picking UI widget with the class attribute. Then if you see the same way, we are using the other class attribute UI widget header to pick a specific style, right, from inside the CSS. Then we have UI widget content. Just by placing these class attribute, we will be applying the style. Here this is the header style, and this one is the content style. Right? Now, link tag refers the CSS file. We already saw that, right? Two div tags are using the style from the jQuery supplied CSS file. This is the jQuery supplied CSS file. Two div tags are using the style. So if you see, actually three div tags are using the parent, then child. Here we are using UI widget header, as well as UI widget content. Now let's go to the demo and create our first example. Alright, now here we are in the jQuery UI. I'm expanding it. This is the practice area we created. So we will expand this, and then since you are seeing the down arrow here, we are inside the practice area. We expanded it. Right click and create a new file, and we will name this file as 01 first jQuery UI EX. So this is our first example as explained in the PowerPoint slides. Let's save this. And if you see here, we are referring jQuery UI themes 1.12.0. That means this one, jQuery UI themes 1.12.0. Then inside this, if you see, we have some default CSS, or if you want to check this with some other CSS, there are, some specific theme, you can refer that from here. For now, if you see jQuery UI theme.css, jQuery UI theme.css. So this is the file we are referring. You can experiment it by setting up a different theme, right? So press the control key and then click this link. So control click will follow this link. So then this will be the problem, right? So at runtime, if you try to refer this, we will be getting the issue. So what we are doing here, we will put // and we will pick the file manually. We will go for JQuery UI, then JQuery UI themes 1.12.0. We will go here and JQuery UI themes. After that, we are having the CSS. Let's go ahead and fix this way, because if you see, this is repeating and adding up more or redundant folder names. Let me put Control C to have the original name, and we will visit this location and fix it. So what we can do, we will go to the JQuery UI folder which we created. So this is the JQuery UI folder, and we will rearrange this stuff. So first what we will do, since we are going to rename the folders, and just putting hyphens for now. We extracted the zip, right? And that's why the folder names are coming twice. So this is what I need. So let's cut this and create the folder structure so that it will not get repeated. Now if you see JQuery UI themes, and the root content structure is available here. After that we have images and the themes. The same thing we can do for this as well. We will copy the content, place that here, and remove the redundant folder. Alright, now we can go here and remove those two hyphens. Since we control clicked, we identified the issue. Otherwise, when you run the example, the browser will report the CSS file is not available in the folder location you specified. Now let's control click to follow this link. Still it is stating unable to open jQuery-UI themes.css. Let's rework it. /jQuery UI, and here this is the themes folder, and we will manually pick this theme, JQuery UI theme.css. So do not worry, from next video onwards we are going to copy paste the file, and we will modify the content so that all this link we don't need to fix. Alright, now if you do control click, it will follow the link. So this is the CSS file supplied by the jQuery. Right, jQuery UI API provided that. You can look at the structure in this area, and this highlight or window shows that file structure. Suppose in future if you want to refer something, just by looking at this is just a kind of a visual memory, and when you work on this for multiple times, then you will come to know that, okay, if I want to refer some icon related stuff, it will look like this. There will be multiple such icons defined. That way you can browse quickly. right? Or you can do search on this file if you are looking for something. Alright, now let me close this, and if you see, we have the hyperlinks available. I mean the hyperlink reference pointing to the CSS themes applied by the jQuery UI. After that, here we are using the UI widget, right? And since we already referred jQuery UI theme, the UI widget may be defined, not maybe, it must be defined inside this theme. Now let me control click, then put control F and type UI hyphen widget. And if you see, this is the CSS picker, right? Dot UI widget. Then rules are defined inside this file. Font family and font size. So that's the stuff defined here. Now let's close this and look at UI widget header. Control F, UI widget hyphen header. And if you see, UI widget header is defined here, right? This style rule states that any HTML element that is having the class attribute UI widget header, well, because here you are seeing the dot, right? These are all the CSS selection rules, and this one states that UI widget, any attribute that is having the UI widget header class attribute and that contains anchor. So if that is the case, inside the header for anchor, define the color. So this is some kind of gray color, right? So this is, here we are, let's pick one thing, UI widget header /a, Control C, copy it, just to explore the themes folder, and we will pick some theme randomly. So here I am picking the sunny theme, and if you see, the stuffs are same, right? jQuery UI min, and this is theme.css. So you can see the same kind of files are placed, but inside there will be different colors and font and other attributes to define the specific thing. Let me click the jQuery UI from sunny theme, put Control F and search for this same jQuery UI header and anchor. So if you see here, the anchor color is different, right? It is white here. So this is how jQuery UI have many themes. Alright, this is header CSS selection rule, and this is UI widget content CSS selection rule, and we are using that using the class attribute here. Alright. Now let's save this content and run it. So if you see the header text, it got decorated like this, and this is the content. So here we are using the header as well as content, and you can see how the jQuery UI is decorating the HTML elements. Now we will pick a different theme, place a slash here, and I'm clicking here, then themes. We will use a flick theme, and JQueryUI.css. So I'm using theme from this location. Now, since we changed the theme, let me reload this, and you can see how the content got changed, right? There's a different font style and header text. Let me use one more theme here. Slash themes, and we'll use the overcast theme this time, and reload the content. If you see how by changing the themes, you are changing the appearance of the web content, right? That's all about the theme, and we are done with our first example. And if you see here, we just used the themes only from the UI package. We haven't used any JavaScript API. So from next video onwards, we will use the JavaScript API as well. Before that, we will pick a right theme so that we can use that theme throughout the example. So from this theme folder, let me pick the flick theme, and throughout the course we will use this theme. That means we are not going to touch this specific section in each example. Since we are going to copy paste the HTML content, we will be having the same header. That means in all our example we will use this flick theme. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.